Don in London, hello. April the 29th, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour, equally addictive towards people, places, things. Which was about work, workaholic, relationships, trying to be perfect. Things, collected. I was always trying to be right with the world. And I was very trying as a person. I remember one person saying to me once, I don't know how to be your friend because your standards are so high. I don't know what you'd do if you let me down, or if I let you down. And the answer was, I hadn't even thought about it. How would I forgive somebody if they let me down? And I don't know, because I don't know the concept of blame was really in me. If anything was wrong, I guess I felt it was my fault in some way. So I turned it inwards. All the anger was inwards to me. And sometimes it's outwards to other people when we get resentful in the addiction, whether it's substance or behaviour, and it comes out as self-harm, always. So self-harm is not necessarily a good place to be, and that's what addiction was for me. So from 24/7 drinker, not so long in that particular state, but certainly a dependent drinker for a long time. And certainly the first drink I ever took did do the damage, because it fixed me in some way. It made me either happy, joyful, sad, relaxed, soporific, sleepy, you name it. It took the edge off me. And often we say, let's have a drink to take the edge off. Well, these days I don't. Tea, coffee, maybe, yes, all that sort of stuff. But the gift these days is I realised what was going on. I also realised life couldn't get any worse. I mean, how many times do you have to go to emergency, to the hospital, to be revived in some way because you've overdone it? And how many times do you have to be implored by family, friends and those who love us to please do something about it? And the trouble is, if they can't do anything and we can't do anything, what do we do? Well, in the end I did get that moment of clarity. And some people call it a spiritual awakening, but it's, for me, just simply reality, and that's what spiritual is for me too, where I realised I couldn't do it on my own and I needed help. So I got help from professionals and also fellowship. So professionals played their part in helping me stabilise long enough to understand that there were people out there who had learned how to be sober. And the people who helped me most learn how to be sober, once having got clean or dry from the addiction, was the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. So I speak a lot about AA and Alcoholics Anonymous and the fellowship, but I don't speak for it. I don't speak for the people in AA either. I'm just one of many. So you'll hear voices about, or read and find information out about what the fellowship is. I'm just one voice. So I don't represent it, never can, never will. Unique, authentic people have their own voice where they choose. But if I didn't include AA, well, that would be ego for me. So with high regard for the fellowship, I share about it and what it does. So I'm in a good place because I went to a meeting yesterday. I haven't been able to attend meetings regularly, so I suppose I've been starved really of some of the oxygen of life, which is understanding how people stay in recovery. Notwithstanding that, I'm very lucky because I understand the literature and the steps, 12 steps which keep us safe, 12 steps of action to change my attitude and behaviour on a daily basis. Anyway, about AA, I share the statement of intent here, and then some of the literature and what's happening in my life. So first, the AA statement of intent, or the AA preamble, shared at every meeting, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So it's very simple. A desire to stop drinking is the main reason for going. Just a desire. Doesn't mean you've stopped. It's just finding out about how to get sober. And then when we're there, we share our experience, strength and hope. And it's really important that we hear from everybody who feels inclined to speak. So there's no need to speak if you don't want to. You just go along, listen. And as they say, you take the cotton wool out of your ears and put it in your mouth when you first go, simply so you can listen and hear to other people's wisdom about what it is to be sober. It doesn't mean you have to adopt their way. You find your own path, unique and authentic to you. And then there are these 12 steps which can help us, 12 steps of action to change our attitude and behaviour and experience life without drink or whatever it is we used to fix on. And that can be people, places and things as well. So it's all about finding balance, facing reality, whatever it is. And reality bites hard in recovery because we feel everything in the raw. So, going to the daily reflections, this book, 1 page a day, all about the 12 steps and 12 traditions of AA. What is the fellowship? And it talks about group autonomy. This is how AA works. There are just groups of people who get together and share experience, strength and hope. And this is something which is important. And this is what it says on April 29th. Some may think that we have carried the principle of group autonomy to extremes. For example, in its original long form, Tradition 4 declares, any 2 or 3 gathered together for sobriety may call themselves an Alcoholics Anonymous group, provided that as a group they have no other affiliation. So in other words, they only get together with a desire to keep sober and share their experience, strength and hope. But this ultra liberty is not so risky as it looks. As an active alcoholic, I abused every liberty that life afforded. How could AA expect me to respect the ultra liberty bestowed by Tradition 4? Learning respect has become a lifetime job. AA has made me fully accept the necessity of discipline, and that, if I do not assert it from within, that's from inside me, then I will pay for it. This applies to groups too. Tradition 4 points me in a spiritual direction in spite of my alcoholic inclinations. And the alcoholic inclination is to be completely self-absorbed, gripped often by ego, fear, and put on our brave face. So we don't actually have the liberty, freedom of choice to explore what is possible in life. We're still holding on and not letting go. So when it talks about ultra liberty, and there is this one reason for getting together, it is the freedom to be ourselves. And if we're not free to be ourselves, how on earth do we learn? So the point of liberty is, the most important point of liberty is to understand that we get to be open, honest and willing to change our outlook. Hold on to the truth, find it once we've got it, and live well to good principles. So if we don't have the liberty to do that and we constrain ourselves, then we are putting ourselves in danger again of not learning where the boundaries are. So we have to learn life afresh in recovery and find new boundaries around good choices and good living. So what helps me is not to tread on the toes of other people, to observe that we are there with a desire to stop drinking and share experience, strength and hope. And it's not for me to judge other people, but to learn good things from them and not learn bad things from them. We're not perfect, so it's all about growth. So the gift is, or it's what's called almost like a democratic anarchy sometimes. But it works because we learn how to live and be responsible for ourselves. And that serenity prayer at the end of these videos which I share is all about that. To God a good conscience, depending on our belief and understanding of spiritual. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference for me is just for today.